So the idea is we get to learn again some new vocabulary while we're in our chat. So here's our new expression for the day. And again, you can think about this expression maybe if you have this expression in your language. So the expression for today is every cloud has a silver lining. Every cloud has a silver lining. Now, here's what that means. It means that every bad situation can have something positive come from it, but maybe not immediately. So when it's dark outside and it's raining and we have thunderstorms, eventually the sun comes out. Every dark situation can have something positive happen. So if you look at the bottom of the screen, it says, "I know the situation looks bad right now, but remember, every cloud has a silver lining." So the key is try to have hope, right? It's easy right now to look at our situation and think of only the bad things. So what I was going to ask you guys this morning is to think about this. Okay, so here's our chat question for the day. Okay, so everybody, what do you think will be the silver lining of this situation? Do you think that something good can come from this difficult experience? I know right now many of us are thinking of only the difficult parts, but could there be something positive that comes from this situation? Five. We're finishing up our Burlington English topic. So I know some of you are new to the class, but we have been practicing with our Burlington English topic. So what I would like to do first is to kind of go back because we have a couple of new people here today. I'm going to just remind everybody, so I'm going to show everybody right now that in our class, we have been using Burlington English. So again, for some of the newer people, Sergey, Osum, I don't know if you've had a chance to use much of the Burlington program. So again, what I'll probably do is I'll send another email to some of you just to show you once again how to use the Burlington English platform. So again, we have been practicing with our Burlington English computer program. So again, I sent an email last month with all of the information of how to log in to Burlington English. So we have been practicing with the courses, and the courses that we have been practicing with have been the low intermediate level. Now for the students, you're using the student lessons. So again, under the student lessons, we have been practicing with lesson 8. So again, some of you, if this is your first day, we have practiced pretty much, we've done all of the activities here, or most of the activities in lesson 8. So what I was going to do today is we're kind of reviewing some of this information, and we're going to play a couple of games to review some of the vocabulary. Now, if you've not been practicing, that's okay. You can just kind of watch and see how some of the games work. But after we're finished here today, I'm going to send you in your email a couple of more games that you can play and you can practice with at home. So that's what we're going to be doing here for the next few minutes in our time together. So once again, we're going to be practicing with some vocabulary games. So that's what I'd like to do here. And the idea is in these games, we can use our microphones. So again, if you want to use your mic to answer the questions, so that's perfectly fine. We're just kind of playing together. So we're not going to play in teams. As you can see, it's difficult to play in teams on Zoom. It's difficult to do that. So we're just going to kind of play together. But the idea is we're going to play a couple of games here, and then when we're finished, we'll probably play for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to show you 2 more games that I'm going to send to you in your email and that you can play at home. Okay? So let me go ahead and bring up our first activity. So I'm going to go back in Burlington English. Now again, for you as students, you have the student lessons. These are things you're practicing with. But I'm going to be using some teacher things. So I'm going to click here. So again, only I as the teacher can do these things, but we're going to play this one together. Okay. So this first review game, hopefully you can see on the screen, is called Spin the Wheel. Now, basically what we're just going to do is we're going to see how many points we can get. So I'm going to press the start button, and what's going to happen is we're going to spin the wheel. Then it's going to ask us a question, and we're going to see if somebody in the group can answer the question. So we're going to play this game for a few minutes, and then we're going to go to another game. So in this case, let me show you how this game works, okay? So hopefully you can see on the screen here, we've got these different points. Now, if we were in the classroom, we would play the game kind of in teams, okay? But today we'll just kind of play this one together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the wheel. All right, and this first question is worth 1 point. Okay, so I'm going to read the question and I'm going to read the choices, and we'll see. Somebody, you can use your microphone, or if you want to use the chat box, you can answer the question. Okay? All right, so here it is. The blank is the person who rents the apartment from the landlord. Is it the tenant, the owner, or the leasing agent? Who thinks they know? Who is the person who rents the apartment?
Tenant.
Okay, we hear tenants. All right, let's try it. Let's see. Congratulations. All right, we got the answer correct. Okay, so we're going to continue. All right, so now here comes our next question. So I'm going to spin the wheel. All right, so this one is, oh no, we lost a turn. Well, that doesn't mean anything. We'll spin again. All right, oh, here we go. Okay, so here's our next question. My sister called a blank because she needed help finding a rental apartment. So did she?
Leasing agent.
Wow, we have leasing agents. A lot of people shouting on that one. All right, let's see. So the answer is, congratulations, a leasing agent. So remember, a leasing agent is the person who helps you find apartments. Now, I'm curious, before we continue, did anybody in the class here have a leasing agent? Did anybody use somebody to help you find an apartment?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So Paula, for example, was this through your husband's company, or did you guys find it yourself, find a leasing agent yourself?
We find.
Okay, and did they help you a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank God.
I know, it's hard to find a place when you're moving to a new place. It's hard to find a place. Yeah, okay. All right, let's continue. Okay, spinning the wheel. Here we go. Okay, so this one's worth 1 point. Okay, everybody, let's take a look at this question. A 2-bedroom apartment is an example of a blank. Is it a unit, a utility, or a building?
Unit.
Okay, so Daniela says unit. Let's see if she's correct.
Apartment.
Yes, congratulations. So if you remember the word unit, so for example, if you live in an apartment complex, you might have many different units. So, yeah, so a unit basically means each apartment. Yeah, so for example, a 2-bedroom apartment would be an example of a unit, maybe a 3-bedroom. When my wife and I first got married, we had a 1-bedroom apartment. So it was really, really small. So in this case, it was, yeah, it was 1 unit. All right, let's continue. Okay, we're going to play this game for a couple more turns. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys, now think about maybe your apartment building. So where is the laundry room in many apartment buildings? Is it in the basement, in the lobby, or in the leasing agent's office? What do you think?
In the lobby.
Okay, some people said in the lobby. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, no.
In the basement.
Oh, the basement. Yeah. What is the basement, by the way? Who can explain what the basement is? Maybe in your house or apartment. Who knows? Anybody?
It's like I have a basement, but I don't know.
Well, let's do a little demonstration. So again, for some of the students in the room here, we'll use a picture. So, yeah. So for example, the basement. For example, maybe you can see some of the pictures here. So, like for example, this would be a finished basement, right? Like a nice basement here. Some people have basements like this.
Yes.
This is like my basement right here. It's not very nice. Yeah, usually the basement is the part of the house that is below ground.
Yes.
So let's use we'll use our whiteboard for just a moment. Yeah. So again, for those of you who are new here, so the basement part is the lowest level. usually below ground of a house. And then maybe in an apartment building, yeah.
I have it, but it's the kitchen. It's like a room, a small room.
Oh yeah, like like a laundry room, for example. Yeah. Many apartments might have laundry rooms. In the actual apartment. So I know, like, but for my wife and me, where we lived in our first year of being married, all of the laundry facilities were in the main building, and they were in the basement. So we had to go down into the basement. But yeah, that's what it is. The basement is the lowest level of the house, and it's usually below ground. Now, I don't know how many people here have houses versus apartments, but here in Northern Kentucky, many of the old houses in Northern Kentucky, I'll put this on the screen. Many of the houses in Northern Kentucky have basements, mostly because, especially like in my neighborhood, a lot of the houses are very old. So often they would have basements, and believe it or not, the basements were also the garages for the cars. So in my house is so old that you used to be able to drive your car under the house into the basement. So you would keep your car in the basement. Now think about that. Yeah. So the problem, of course, is that water and other things would come into the basement. So it was a pretty bad idea. But many of the houses here have garages in the basement. So next time if you drive around some of the older places in Northern Kentucky, you can see the driveway going into the basement, and you're probably wondering, where is that? So okay, so yeah, the basement there. Okay, all right, let's play one more. Let's do one more question, and then we'll try another game. Okay. Okay, so this one is worth 6 points. All right, so here's the question. The blank is closed because they're replacing the dryers. Is it the elevator, laundry room, or the lobby?
Could you repeat?
Let's see. Sorry, guys.
Change.
Sorry, I have to change the screen again. Okay, there it is. Okay, so the blank is closed because they're replacing the dryers. Is it the elevator, laundry room, or the lobby?
Laundry room.
Laundry room.
All right, Sergey, congratulations. The laundry room. Yeah, so so we have the dryer. What's the other thing in the laundry room? We have the dryer.
Washing machine and dryer.
Yeah, washing machine. Yeah. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but have you done a lot of laundry in the quarantine?
Yeah.
Oh, the same.
Okay, don't answer that question. All right, nobody answer that question. Nobody wants to say if they've been doing their laundry. Okay. It's okay. It's a secret. We don't have to tell anybody.
Every day something to wash.
Every day.
Yeah.
Well, Sergey, that's impressive because I'm not doing laundry every day. So okay. Hey, let's do one more game, just real quickly, just to kind of review things. So once again, I'm going to choose, let me see, here we go. Okay, so this game is a little bit different. Let me stretch it out a little bit so we can see it. Okay, this game's called 4 in a Row. And again, if we played in class, we would be playing together in teams, but we're just going to work together and answer a few questions. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so the basic idea is we're trying to get, like in, I don't know if you ever played the game Connect 4, we would try to connect pieces, but we'll just click on and we will look at some of these questions. So now remember in this lesson, we were talking about housing, but of course there are many other things related to housing. Now, for example, let's look at this question. It says, what is not a good reason to move to a new city? So let's take a look at these 3 choices. The public transportation is good, the weather is awful, or people are friendly. Which one is not a good reason to move to a new city?
The weather is awful.
The weather is awful?
Yeah, because awful, of course, is a negative word, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's think about the word awful for a moment. So what are some things that are awful? Now, I think everybody knows my opinion. Broccoli is awful. So I'm going to put that.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that in the chat box. Okay. So broccoli is awful. Okay. So that's my answer. What about you guys? What's something that you think is just awful? It could be anything. What do you think is awful? What do you think?
Food?
Food? Anything. Could be.
Kind of food?
Could be food. Could be maybe you don't like cats. I don't know. No, Asami likes cats.
Very, very crowded.
Okay, crowded places. That would be awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now. Yeah.
It's a good idea for coronavirus.
That's true. The coronavirus would love it. That's true. Let's
Noise.
see. Noise is
Yeah.
awful. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Noise outside.
Yeah. For some reason, I live next to Dixie Highway, and every day we hear people just driving really fast because there's no traffic. So some people love it. They can go as fast as they want to. So that's
Yeah.
pretty awful. Let's see.
It can be an apartment.
Oh yeah, noise in an
Yeah.
apartment.
The other neighbor, they have children.
Sure.
Yeah, they play.
That's true.
It's you can hear noise, a lot of noise. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Rena, Mie, Sami, what's awful? Give us something you think's awful. Anybody? Spiders. So that's a good one.
Oh, I agree.
Wait a minute. Rena says bananas. Okay, Rena, you got to leave. I'm sorry. I love bananas. Bananas are my favorite. Okay. Traffic is awful. Okay. Traffic. That's true. Hey, Ozum. Ozum, have you fixed your microphone? Can you use your microphone, Ozum? Let's see if Ozum can hear me. Ozum, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So what about you? What's something that's awful? What's something you don't like?
Rain.
Rain. That's a good answer. Yeah, especially if we have to be inside. Yeah, rain. That's a good answer. I like that one. Okay. All right. Mie?
Hello, Zoom.
Yeah, so there's Sergey Osum. You guys can see each other. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's one reason. All right. Let's play maybe 2 more times. Okay. Okay. So there's our first one. All right. Now the B team, we want to block the A team. So let's put it here. Okay. Okay. Now, guys, it's hard to see the picture, so I'll zoom in a little bit. But again, when we think about, it says gas, something, right? Probably hard.
Bill?
So what do you think? Is it money, pay stubs, or bills?
It's a bill.
Bills.
Yeah, it says bill, gas bill. Yeah. Okay, so for example, we pay electricity, we pay gas. What are some other bills we have?
Rent.
Rent. That's a good one. Rent is a good one.
Water.
Restaurant bill.
Water. Restaurant. That's true. The
Market.
check. The supermarket. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys now, during this situation, are you guys using like the Kroger, the thing on your phone, like ordering Kroger on your phone? Are you guys ordering groceries on your phone?
I don't use yet.
No.
Not yet? Okay.
Not yet.
No.
Yeah, it's called the Kroger Click It, right? Is that what it's called? So I don't know if you guys use the Click It, but we've liked it. And actually, I think the people at Kroger, they prefer it. They like it, so you don't go in the store. Right. So maybe that's a good thing to do. So, okay. So maybe for some of you, maybe the internet is a bill. Right?
Internet. Yeah.
Maybe Netflix.
Yes.
Osum, what did you say?
Cell phone.
That's true. Oh man.
Cell phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Still gotta pay the cell phone bill. Okay. All right, let's try one more, and then we might have time to look at one more game here. Okay, so let me zoom back out. Okay, so one more. Okay, so let's do one more. We'll put A here. Okay, now here's a good question. So a good statement. Many people like to have blank with friends and family before they make important decisions. So
discuss.
Okay, well let's read all 3 choices. So they like to have decide, they like to have discuss, or they like to have discussions.
Discussions.
What do you think?
Discussions.
Okay. Yeah, so so take a look here on the screen. Let me just I'll use my marker for a moment. So remember, when we think about
discussions.
Yeah, very good. When we think about co-locations, do you see this part here that
this
I'm
is
circling?
This is a noun.
Yeah, it's a noun, to have something. Yeah, so in this case, discussions would be something we have. All right, so let's see. Let's check the answer. Okay. And the answer, if I can get my mic, there we go, my mouse to work. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, congratulations. All right, we have discussions. Okay, guys, we have just enough time. Let's look at one more game real quickly. So again, as you can see, a lot of the topics we've been practicing with have been things around the house, like washing machine, things in an apartment building. Here, we've been talking about things that we do, like to choose places to live. So in our final kind of review, let me erase that on the screen. Erase that. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. So let's do one more, and we're going to do the rental application. So again, when we rent, we have to fill out an application. So here's our final game for this morning. It's called Tic-Tac-Toe. Do you guys like to play Tic-Tac-Toe? You ever played that game before? It's a pretty common game. You see the X's and the O's.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a pretty popular game. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now again, we're not playing in teams. We're just playing together. So I'll start in the middle here. All right. Now here's our question. So to think about when we get a job. So here's the question. To know who the applicant's current employer is, we should check the blank section of the application. So would that be the household section, the employment section, or the references section?
Employment.
Okay, so yeah, so notice it says the current employer.
Employment.
So remember, so remember, employer means boss, right? Our supervisor. So in this case, let's see if we're correct. All right, very good. Now, again, so one of the topics in Burlington was also talking about applications. So again, when you fill out an application, you put your name, your work history, your employment, your education. So yeah, so again, when we fill out applications, we often put in lots of those things. Okay, all right, so there's our X. All right, let's put the O. We want the O to go here. All right. Okay, so everybody, your blank address is where you're living now.
Your current.
All right, Sergey jumped in with current. Yeah, I heard current from everybody. Yeah, so current means right now. Yeah, so let's think about the word current. So I'm going to pull up the, let me pull up the board here. So just to finish our kind of discussion here. So we were talking about current. Let me clear the screen. So for example, we think about current address, right? Current phone number. What are some other things that people ask about that needs to be current? So we have a current address, current phone number. What else do people ask for in applications? What other current things do we need?
Job.
Okay, so current job.
Current job, yeah.
Current, or sometimes they might say current employment.
Employment.
What are some other things?
Current age, current health.
Oh no! Oh man. Now it's interesting, Sergey, because in the United States, so this is an interesting point. In the United States,
current citizen.
Well, for example, in the United States,
citizenship status.
Yeah. So, for example, in the United States, it's illegal to ask your age on the first application.
It's good for women.
However,
not polite.
Yeah. However, the company, this is true, the company can ask you if you are over 18 years old. So just be careful. There are some questions in the United States that we cannot ask. So we cannot ask your current age, like in a job situation. Now, maybe, Sergey, on a medical document, like a medical application, if you go to the doctor, they can ask you that question. But again, on a job application,
yes.
If you have a driver license.
Well, especially if they're going to copy your driver's license. Now, of course, guys, remember that if you are going to work in the United States, yes, you will.
If you buy alcohol, tobacco.
That's true. Yeah, they can ask you those questions, right? But yeah, but if you do apply for a job, you can use a driver's license. They will ask you for that in the future. So yes, at some point in the future, you will have to say your age. But at the beginning, in the United States, it is illegal. And actually, Sergey, that's another good question. Current citizenship status. That is also illegal to ask on the first job application. So the only question they can ask you is this. So I'm going to put it over here on the right side. That's a good question. The only question they can ask you is, are you able to work in the United States? That's the only question they can ask you, because what that means is, do you have a work visa, or do you have a social security number or something? So believe it or not, in the United States, we can't ask you about your citizenship status at the beginning. Now, it's true, if you finally if they offer you a job, then yes, you have to say, for example, if you're a permanent resident or a citizen. But that first application, they cannot ask you that. They can only ask you if you can work. So these are some good points. Yeah, so current address, current phone number. But some of these things we have to be careful, but they can't ask us at a job. But you're right, doctor's office, they can ask us our current address, and current age and things like that. But don't worry, I'm not going to ask you your current age. So nobody has to tell me, don't worry. You don't have to tell me how old you are. So now everybody remember, I am recording this, so you can watch and you can see all of this in the video when we're finished. So, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and switch back for just a moment to our game.
Mr. John, we can
yes,
say we can say current earn.
Current salary. Yeah, we'll put that on the board too. Here, let me write that down. Yeah, your current income.
Income, yes.
Current salary. Yeah, especially if you're going to go to the bank and ask for money for like a house, they can ask you what's your current income or current salary. Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Or if you apply for a credit card. Okay. Yeah, good question. All right. Okay, guys. So let's return to our game just for one more question, because I think we have just enough time for one more. Okay, so the X, well, let's see, where can we go? We'll go here. All right. All right. So here we go. Blank members are all the people living in your home. So is it house members, rental apartment members, or household members?
Household.
Yeah, very good. Household.
Yeah.
Yeah. So household means basically everybody living in your house right now, in your apartment. So for example, guys, right now we have the census. I don't know if you've gotten any information about the census.
Yes.
Let me put it up on the screen here. So for example, in the census, in the 2020 U.S. Census, so I did my census last month. I got my information and filled it out. But in the 2020 U.S. Census, they ask a question: how many people are in your household? Okay, everybody, so how many people are in your household? And just remember, you cannot count dogs and cats. So So how many people are in your household? So let's see. I'll start here with I'm looking at my list here. So let's see. So Ozum, how many people are in your household?
Family.
Yeah. So how many? So 2, 3, 5. How many people?
4.
4 people in your household.
4,
okay.
5. Yeah.
Okay. Saba, what about you? How many people in your household?
Normally we are 2, but I have 2 guests.
That's
so
right.
we are 4. We are 4.
So we would say probably 2 for the census, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Paula, what about you? How many people in your household?
4.
4. Okay.
4.
Sergey, how many people are in your household?
6.
6 people. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
All right. Daniela, what about you?
We have a big family.
Big family.
We are 5.
5. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a big one. Mie, what about you? How many people in your household?
Just 2.
Just 2. Okay, well that's like me and my wife. Yeah, I can't count my dog, so I can't count my dog. All right, Rena, how about you?
Just the same.
Same 2. Okay, and Asami, can't count your cats, Asami. No cats.
2.
Just 2. Okay. Now, maybe in the future they'll count pets. I don't know. Maybe they will, but who knows? Yeah.
Maybe.
All right. Hey guys. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that again, Burlington English has lots of different things that you can practice with, and I know that many of the students here in the group, maybe you've had a chance to practice with Burlington English. Now, for Ozum and Sergey, Paula, I think Paula, you have used the Burlington?
Yes,
Okay.
I already did.
Good. Well, I'm going to send some more information just to help everybody in case you have any questions about using Burlington, because we are going to start a new lesson next week. So I want to make sure everybody knows how to use the Burlington program. So I'll send another email just to help everybody. But I'm going to go ahead and close the whiteboard because our time is just about up. So I'm going to return to our main screen. Okay. Okay, now guys, before we finish here today, I just wanted to take a moment and mention, so again, we played a couple of games from Burlington English, but I also want to introduce you to 2 games that you're going to play this week. So again, in your email, I'm going to send you a game from Kahoot. Now, I think most of you have played a game with me before using Kahoot, but let me show you what it looks like. So again, you will get an email, and in the email, you will get information about how to play this game. So again, what I'm going to do here after this lesson is I'm going to assign this game, and this is a game that you can play by yourself. You can play at home. Now, the game is available. It will be available starting today until next Tuesday. So you have basically 6 days to play the game. And it has about 30 questions, and the different questions are asking about the vocabulary and things that we are playing or that we reviewed in this lesson. But for example, I'll show you one of the questions. Let's take a look at it. For example, if I just used it, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to... Let's turn off the music for a moment. Okay, so for example, when you join the game, you'll see that there's a number involved, and you'll enter the number to play. Unfortunately, it's not going to let me do it from here. Let me see if I can sample it. So hold on just a second. Let me go back and take a look here. Well, I don't know if it's going to let me sample it. Let me go back to my first page. Okay, well, anyway, one of the games I'm going to send you is from Kahoot. So it actually will be a game that you'll get the invitation to, but I don't think it's going to let me take a look at it. No. Okay, well, anyway, the game itself has lots of different questions using all of the topics we talked about here today. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to let me, here we go, preview. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Okay, so we enter the number. So for example, I'll enter the number. Let me turn that off. So just to show you how it works. So some of you might remember we would play this game in class. You can play on your phone. Okay, all right, so we'll start. So the game is about, again, lesson 8, housing. So again, you can play on your phone. You'll be able to play on the computer. But for example, here's the first question. It says, the sink is blank. Quick, turn off the water. So if you notice, you have 3 choices. So it says breaking, leaking, or flushing. So again, on your phone, you would choose the correct answer. So in this case, let's choose leaking. And that's the correct answer. Okay? So again, you might remember we've played something like this in class before, but in this case, you'll be able to play just by yourself. You'll be able to play and answer the questions. And again, you can use your phone and you can use a computer. So you'll get a link in your email that will show you how to play it. Okay? So that's one game that you're going to play. And then another game you might remember we called Quizlet. And again, what I will be doing is sending you an email. Now, this particular Quizlet is a visual Quizlet. So you can practice with the flashcards. So you might remember we practiced this in class before, where you can look at the word, you can switch and practice with the picture. So for example, I see the picture here, you see the picture there, and then you can flip it over and it's plumbing, for example. So the idea is you can review these words, they're all visual, and then what I want you to do is to play the match game. You can play the match game, or if you're playing on the computer, you can also play Gravity as well. You can't play Gravity on your phone. It doesn't work on your phone. But the Gravity game, I'll demonstrate. If you have a computer, we'll do easy. Okay, all right. Okay, so we start the game, and then for example, you will see a picture. So for example, do you see the picture there that's falling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for example, anybody have an idea what it is? Hurry, hurry, hurry.
It's a stove. It's
Oh,
Air conditioner.
air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. So the idea is if you have a computer, see, there you go. If you have a computer, now I realize not everybody has a computer, but if you play on the computer, you can play Gravity too. You can play that game. On your phone, you can only do the match game. So remember, you match the pictures to the thing on the screen. I'll show it to you real quickly here. So you have the pictures, remember this game, and you have to match the word to the picture, for example. So on your phone, you can play this game, but you can't play Gravity on your phone. So anyway, I'm going to send you these two games, and I would like for you guys to play them just to practice the vocabulary before next week, okay? Because this is really kind of the end of this lesson. So just to kind of finish us up here today, so again, for next class or for our next chat, just try to play those two games. Now, especially for the Kahoot game, you have to enter your name to play. So when you enter your name, I'll see who the winner is, okay? So we'll see who the winner is of the Kahoot game. And the idea is after we're finished here this morning, I'm going to send you the links to these two games. And you'll need to finish them by next Tuesday, April 28th. Okay. Now, again, remember to everyone, I am recording the chat. So if you missed anything, you can always go back and watch anything that we talked about here in the chat today. All right. Well, guys, our time is up. I want to thank everybody for joining us. So our next chat will be next Tuesday. It'll be from 10 to 11. Now,